Hello, Cancer, and welcome back to your extended. So, I kind of want to start off with saying, you know how your underlining energy was one that was coming through as kind of depleted after this experience, feeling dehydrated, just tired, totally wiped out from this experience because of so much energy that was surging through you. What I'm noticing here at the end of the first row of a reading, though, is that, you showed up here as the star. So there does come to be a point in time where, as this continues to happen for you, because I'm seeing this as like the first time. However, as this continues to happen, you're going to eventually become very rejuvenated from the experience. So if you do decide to continue channeling, to continue to communicate, or receive messages from the other side and then also deliver them, there's almost like a reassurance here that this is just the initial process. This is just the initial process, and eventually it's going to look like this star. It's going to look like that. It's actually coming through as like holy waters, like the holy waters washing over you and totally encompassing you with a beautiful rejuvenation, rejuvenative energy. So if you do feel as though, this might not be the thing for you, and of course, I know I probably shouldn't put any bias in these messages, but this is the part that I get so excited for, because it's like I'm literally reading about the awakening of a medium or a channel or something like that, and it's so stunningly beautiful. It's like, don't stop here, keep going, you are a star. So yes, but as you do continue down this road, it is going to be one, there is a lot of rejuvenation that's going to come from it. There's also a lot of healing that's going to come from it as well. Perhaps healing for other people. I mean, you are delivering messages. If you are dealing with spirits, like lost loved ones and stuff, it is going to help deliver a lot of healing to people. And not only that, there's a space here where, initially you're showing up as this Luna moth, the fullness of this expression, the expression of this gift it's like it's eventually all of it's going to be released. And when it does, you are going to feel like incredibly vulnerable. But there seems to be a safety that is coming with this vulnerability. And now I'm asking myself, is that just because you are eventually coming to a point where you're self-assured? You see what I'm saying? Like you will be sure of yourself and of your gift. And so therefore it's not going to be scary or nerve-wracking to present your gift. It's just going to free flow and come naturally, because there's so much confidence that has been built up over time. You see, even on the strength card, like her clothing is like slipping off of her shoulders. So there's almost it's like you are going to want to desire to actually be the star, to be vulnerable, to be kind of put up on stage, and all of those others to be witnessing you and the incredible gift that you are. That's stunning. It's really beautiful. And the other thing that I'm noticing here is that it seems like the ones that you are with have some type of companion. So, you know, you of course are showing up with this lion, but the other ones that are with you, like this Justice card, the one who is living in complete and utter truth of everything that is, very high order truth, incredibly, and has a extreme amount of integrity and what is that word, like virtue, right? So they have the owl. So of course, you know, for you, the lion comes with strength, confidence in self. You know, the owl comes with an adept ability for discernment. And then, you know, there's this other one that's coming with this horse. And the horse is signifying freedom, actually, freedom in their exploration, because, you know, they kind of knew that this stuff existed. So it's very interesting. I'm actually seeing that this perhaps maybe was the one who called you all together to do this, because they wanted to explore. They have this horse energy, which it's like it inspires them to want to go further than they have ever gone before, right? So all of you, except for this one that is showing up here as the Nine of Wands, all of you have these, they're showing up as companions, but it's almost like they are your gifts. And oh my gosh, this is very cute, because it's kind of talking about, like, you know, with your powers combined, you can create something truly extraordinary, which is like this happening that is happening for, I want to say, for this individual here that's showing up as the Nine of Wands. So, and I say that it's happening for them because they are, it looks as though this is the one who is receiving the message. So Cancer, you have started to spontaneously channel, and you might not know it while it's happening, but, you know, hearing about it after the fact, it's like you're discovering that the message that you had relayed during this transmission, if you will, was for this one. And it's coming through like someone that they used to, like maybe perhaps it's actually like one of their former loved ones that has passed on. The spirit is showing up as the Emperor. So that could be like a fatherly figure, you know, an uncle, a brother. Well, there's a distinctive, like this could be a father or it could be a grandfather. There's a discrepancy in the age gap. So someone who's very much older than them and in some ways had a little bit of authority over their life. So that's why I'm saying it might not necessarily be like a brother or an uncle or, you know, some like a cousin or anything like that. It's coming through as someone who is a father figure, So, and you can see how there's something, oh, this is interesting. I didn't see this before. There's something that happened perhaps between these two individuals maybe while this one was still embodied, that has caused a lot of boundaries to be put up between the two of them. It seems like all of those boundaries were kind of placed by this one here, by the one that is presenting as the Nine of Wands. And, you know, maybe what has occurred for them, you know, all of these boundaries and everything, was that they actually might not have been communicating in the, like, the final days, if you will, of this one's embodiment. And so since it's almost like they actually like watch over them in some type of way on the other side. And the spirit is using this opportunity to be able to communicate a message to their it's like their child, to their child that is still here in this reality. And this is the message. This is the message that is coming from this Emperor and is passing through you and is reaching this Ten of Swords here. So we have the Ten of Swords twice. That's coming up. So it's reaching this Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is presenting itself as, it's coming up as like the reasoning as to why the relationship that this Emperor, I want to say it's like a father and son or grandfather and son, or yeah, something along those lines. The reason as to why this ended, or like something about their death as to what happened during their death, something like that. And it's because it's showing up as this Ten of Swords, almost like it's like they collapsed or something, or fell. They might have fallen or collapsed or something like that. It's like their life force was, you know, like slipping away from them in this time. And it's like that energy is moving through you, and the message itself is planting itself directly. Oh my God, this is really beautiful. I hope that you can see how this is happening. But the message from this Emperor is coming in through you and planting itself directly behind him. And there's something about this message that they are actively wanting to ignore. They're actively wanting to ignore what is happening, but it's touching them. It's touching them in a way that they never expected this experience to go for them. They never expected this. You know, this might have been all fun and games and, okay, well, I'll prove to you guys that this is actually not going to work. And then it actually does. And not only are they kind of defeated in a way of like their pride is a little bit defeated, as in, you know, this is actually working. This is not a joke. It's real. And then not only that, it's also now you're getting messages from your deceased loved one who perhaps maybe didn't have a great relationship with, because it does seem like there was something that was like the relationship between those two ended before this one passed over to the other side. I hope that makes sense. So, you know, they are incredibly defensive about this message, and because of that, they are putting a stop. They're putting a stop to the message that is coming forward. Like I said before, it's as if they're getting up from the table and just walking away. They're walking away from it all. They're in disbelief. No, it's not disbelief. They're in denial. They're in denial that this is even happening, that this message is actually for them, that, I mean, it's just a total denial. It's almost as if they feel that this was all kind of like orchestrated, and it's not real. It's like that's how they feel like it's not real. And the not real part is coming through with actually the color of the cloak. The blue, like blue to me typically represents something that has like a tinge of illusion, even though there is some truth in there. So they're almost actually like lying to themselves, you know, because they are in such denial. They're lying to themselves about the message, especially with this raven here that is perched on their shoulder, about the message that was received. And like I said before, you know, it's still, even though there might be a sense of denial, it touched them. Like the message touched them. And like once it touches you, you can't shake it. You can't shake it at all. So they're they're actively putting a stop to this message, as in like they're cutting off the connection with the spirit board, or they're getting up from the table and leaving, something like that. Or it's coming through as a lot of like anger, like really putting their foot down and demanding that this message stops. And of course, you know, you, like I said, with you can have boundaries as to what you want to communicate with, how you want to communicate, you know, when and where and all of that stuff. So it's actually as though because I'm kind of wondering why this is coming up for you. Obviously, of course, you're discovering a gift that you have recently like spontaneously unfolded within you. But then also it's like they're kind of acting as an example of how you can navigate communications in this way, in this style. You see what I'm saying? So what's very interesting here though is that, you know, all of you presented with your companions, you know, the owl, the horse, the lion, and then now all of a sudden, because this one has expressed themselves they've expressed firmly what they're willing to communicate with, it has put this raven on their shoulders. So you're all presenting here with companions, even this one that is still like in some type of denial about what's truly going on here. And, you know, of course, like how I was saying, it's almost like your powers combined. Like these animals are representing your gifts, your power, your supernatural powers, you know, exploration, discernment, like confidence and strength. And then now with this raven on his shoulder, that's talking about, actually, this is very interesting, it's talking about being a deliverer of messages. So that's very interesting, because this one is in disbelief that this is even happening. They're actually experiencing a message that is coming to them through a medium or a channel. And it's actually pointing out to them what their supernatural ability is. And it looks like they're also a messenger of some sort as well. That is fascinating. So not only are you awakening this gift within you, it's like you're also simultaneously awakening it within someone else too. And what I'm seeing here is that, you know, because they're showing up here as the Page of Wands. So while they might be getting up, leaving the table, see, you can see how they're getting up, leaving the table, maybe storming off in some type of very passionate, like almost like in a rage. They're moving actually into a space where they're taking the inspiration that you had gifted them in this experience, and they're going, it's almost like they're going to start exploring it for themselves, but on their own. It's almost like they need time and space to be able to explore this on their own. So if they kind of like if they kind of disappear a little bit for a while, it's because this element here is necessary for their progression. It's like they need to discover it on their own, explore it on their own, kind of in the privacy of their own space. Because it's almost like they're learning something about themselves that they didn't even know existed. And their entire identity is starting to, well, it's shifting, it's molding them. It's basically like molding themselves into a whole new sense of being. And okay, this is very interesting. What I'm noticing now is that the way that the cards are situated, so these two are flanking the edges of this row. You know, we have the Eight of Wands and the Ten of Swords and the King of Swords there too. It's as if they are, because they now know that they, I guess in a sense, are a messenger themselves. It's almost like they're going to start reaching out to whoever you initially started the conversation for them. Does that make sense? Like, so Cancer, you initially started the conversation. You were their initiation, and now that they're going to go and explore on their own, they are going to start to communicate with this Emperor, this loved one that has now passed on, but they're going to do it in their type of way. So it's like, if you know, while you're channeling and stuff, you might not necessarily realize what's being said, you know, especially if you're in a trance or something along those lines. Like, you wouldn't really know unless there was video footage or something like that. And it's like, this reading here seems to be giving you a little bit of context of what's going on behind the scenes, and also some understanding that yes, they left, yes, they walked away, but they also were inspired by your spontaneous and complete openness in channeling the message that was meant for them. And so now they're going to go off and explore what it means for them and how they're going to move forward, and also how they're going to communicate with this loved one. Very, very interesting. I really enjoyed this reading, Cancer. Thank you so much for allowing me to read you. And as always, enjoy your night, and I will see you next time. And of course, if you do want to have a private reading with me, you can check out the links in the description box to see how to book that, okay? Have a wonderful night.